Hi, it's Tom here. You might be wondering why we are stood in what looks like a tent full of rubbish. That's because it is a tent full of rubbish, and this is going to shortly be my new workshop space, and I've been busy trying to work out how to fit stuff in here, and we're going to have some benching down here. And obviously it's been a bit quiet on the channel lately. That's because I haven't had time to do much in the way of creating content. Hopefully that will change as we get some more space back online, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've got in this shop that I'm going to also be putting up on the channel as we go along. And there's a few new projects. There's some stuff related to Nerf content, and there'll be some other creator content as well. So you can look for a bit more change and diversity in terms of my channel output, as well as keeping up with the same old mod stuff. I'm going to try and do probably a Nerf upload per month. If that's not possible, then there'll be something. So thank you very much for sticking with the channel, and this is the first part of getting myself organised, ready to have a bit more of a push over the next 6 to 8 months. This is the new bench that's going to fit inside the tent, and you can see that there's a little build montage of that, and we're going to next install it inside the tent. I've got to clear all the stuff out and make room in there to put it in, and then up here we've got room to mount some pegboard, and I've got to put some shelving in and some lighting, and then my main bench spaces will be here, and this gives me a couple of metres of big workbench that I don't have at the moment to do projects. Also, I can leave projects out here which I can't do in my current setup. So you'll see some more long-term project content hopefully, and I'll get a chance to display more of my stuff, and the backdrop for some of my future videos should be a bit more interesting because I have lots of stuff that I can put up on here. So here's the bench installed inside the tent, and as you can see I've got some of the overhead lighting washing down here, and I've got some more work to do. I've got to put up some brackets, and I've got to put some shelving up here, and then I'll put some bench lighting, and I'll put some mounts for my cameras up on here, and hopefully this will give me a better workspace now for doing longer projects where I can leave them out on the bench. And this was all built from scrap materials. I went to my local builder's merchant and I asked them what they had in the damaged pile. And generally most builder's merchants, especially smaller ones, have large amounts of stock that they can't shift that ends up as waste. And if you're not building really long lengths, this is 2.5 metres long, well 2.4 metres long in total. If you're building shorter lengths, you can often use shorter lengths of timber. So do go to your local builder's merchants if you have a project in mind and ask them what they've got in the damage pile. This backing ply here, the reason it's 2 different lengths was because it wasn't a full sheet and one end had been damaged by the forklift tips on unloading, and they couldn't sell this sheet to somebody who wanted a full sheet. So I saved myself a lot of money doing that, and that's a well worth following up tip. Is if you don't want to pay full price for things, then do look for stuff that's damaged. The rest of it was made from 2x2 pressure treated CLS. And there was some 3x2 CLS on the fronts and on the surround for the main bench, and then the bench surface was some scrap MDF I had left over from another project that's joined together, so there's a bit of a gap in some places. It's not a perfect edge. At the back corner here there's a cut line, but I kept the cut edge at the back and you can't really see it, and that was much cheaper than putting something else down. Another good tip for workbench tops is if you go and see chaps that are pulling out kitchens, sometimes you get a whole length of worktop that's come out of a kitchen where somebody has got a perfectly good piece of worktop that they wanted to change the colour on, and you also sometimes get ends of line on those, so you can always look out for those if you see them. They make great workbench tops, and those can be had for very little money if you shop around. So there's some free tips for you as well. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting up the shelving, and then I'm going to dress the set with a lot of my finished stuff, and hopefully get some pegboard on here for some of my blaster projects, and some of the other things that I've got which haven't been on show on the channel before. So part of the reason that there's been less content lately is that I've been doing other things. I've been getting into a number of different hobbies. I've started doing some RC flight. I've been doing fixed wing and race style quadcopters through FPV, which has been keeping me occupied. And I haven't been playing as much lately, partly because it's been winter, partly because I've had troubles with my health and I haven't been able to get to games. There's really only 3 games I like playing now. I've been running my local game, but the other 2 games that I like to play are a couple of hours drive, and I've not necessarily had the time to go to those. So those of you that really love my Nerf content, don't fear, there are a couple of builds. I've also been doing a lot of commission work, that's old commission work that I accepted some time ago, where I've been trying to finish my backlog, and I've got people waiting for stuff, and I haven't taken any further work because I've still got work from 2 years ago in some cases. So to those of you that are waiting for things, I really apologise about that, and I'm hoping to clear the backlog as we go. And you will see some other channels with some of my stuff on there, doing some collaborations. I've done a few collaborations with people in the last 18 months that have come to fruition, and they have again taken time to build those up. So if you are still keen on my channel, then please keep up your subscriptions. If you're new to the channel, then you can expect more Nerf, you can expect some more general maker content. And what I've done now is I've set up a separate channel for my flight and FPV stuff, and that is going to be live fairly shortly. I'll do a little opening video for that, and that is going to showcase some of my journey through kind of learning FPV, building some equipment, obviously some of the transferable skills from what I do with other things, and also going out and actually flying some new locations and doing a bit of footage with existing equipment that I've got, like my GoPro. I can now do more stuff with that. And I can also use some of the things I learnt in Nerf are very pertinent to building flying robots, like soldering skills, PCB work, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see some of that, then I'll put the link for the new channel in the description box. There will be content going on to that as we go, and I'll do my opening video for that in the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much for sticking with me, those of you who have, and I hope you enjoyed a bit of different content.